All right, guys. Hi, I'm Rob, and I'm back for the second part of our Fusion 360 introduction tutorial on design to manufacture channel. All right, so today we are going to continue on where we left off in our last video, and we're going to start learning about extrusions and revolving and making a three-dimensional shape, which is exactly what we want on a program like Fusion 360. All right. So if you guys aren't already up to this step or haven't watched a previous video on this topic, please make sure you jump back across and then come here when that one's all done. That way you guys know where we're at, know what we're doing, and we can keep on rolling with the Fusion 360 tutorial for you guys. For everyone else that's still here, let's keep cracking on and hopefully get you guys a few new tips and tools in your repertoire. So straight up, I'm where we left off on our sketch. All right. And what I'm going to do now is just hit the finish sketch button. All right. You'll notice that my toolbar is back to my three-dimensional toolbar. And if I click home here, you can see that I have my shape just sitting here, chilling, doing a whole lot of not much else. It's still transparent. You can still see the grid lines through it. That's because we haven't added a third dimension to it yet, which is our height in this case. So we need to do that now before we do anything else. And just to prove that, like if I rotate us up, you can see that this is as flat can be. So now we're going to make it a bit bigger. And to do that, we're going to use our Extrude tool. This is the first and probably the most popular way of turning a sketch into a three-dimensional shape. All right. And to do that, we simply click the Extrude tool and we click our shape and we can drag it up. All right. And you can see that I could drag it up by millimeter, and you should be able to see that box generating off to the right there. All right. I can also type directly into that. So I can type 3 millimeters in, which is what my end height's going to be. Now, you'll notice that this shape is still here. That's fine. That's going to disappear when it realizes it's non-necessary data. All right. But if I click that shape now, you can see that it will automatically generate an extrusion up for that. So it doesn't matter that we have extra lines here. It doesn't mean that the shape will automatically select them. Same with the circle, right? And you can extrude more than one object at once if you've got a common height to extrude it to. All right, so 3 millimeters is what we're doing here. We're going to hit enter, and you can see that we've got this nice shape right here for us to play with. All right, that is a three-dimensional shape. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. And we could print this right now with very little issues. Now, I am a bit of a stickler for a nice rounded edge. I really don't like harsh, sharp corners like this in my designs. So something that I'll generally do now is I will fillet my edges. All right. This works the same way as when we did the fillet on the corner in two-dimensional space, but this time we're working with three-dimensional parts. All right. And we're just going to round over all of these top edges. So to do that, I select my tool and then I can just click on all of the edges that I want to fillet. All right. Like so, and type in 1 millimeter, or I can drag this little thing so you can simulate how it would go. You can see if I wanted to go quite large, it's going to look a bit weird. All right, I prefer 1 millimeter. It's a nice, smooth sort of rounding, and that should look pretty nice. All right, you can make some modifications to here, and you're more than welcome to play around in that setting, but I've found that the generic rolling ball seems to be the best fillet for most shapes so far. All right, and I can hit OK when I'm done, and that finalizes that change. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the bottom now. Now, if you guys were pretty cluey, you probably would have worked out that you can switch which way it's looking, and you could have just clicked the rest of those edges in the same fillet step. But just to show you guys, all right, it's that easy. 1 millimeter, and we hit enter, and we have got a nicely filleted shape here. Now, this is called a name tag, or this project is aimed to be a name tag. So obviously I want to put my name on it, or the name of this channel in this case, which is Design to Manufacture. So I'm going to start working on that now. To do that, I need to draw some text, and text is a purely two-dimensional object. So what that means is I need to create another sketch. Now, instead of selecting one of these planes to draw on this time, I'm actually going to select the top face of my object. That means that anything I draw is going to be directly on that top face. So we simply click that, and now you'll see that it's dragged it so the origin's in my center. I don't really want that. I want to be able to see my whole job, so I'm using the pan tool just to bring my object back up into focus. Beautiful. Alrighty, so now we want to put some text on here. How do we do that? We go to the text option in our Create menu, and we can simply draw a bit of a text box. Alright, and you'll see that it'll throw some sample text, literally, straight into that box. Alright, but this time I'm writing Design to Manufacture, alright, because that's the channel. And now obviously my text size is way too big at the moment. That's because the letter height is 10 millimeters. I'm going to drop that to about 4. No, that's too small. Let's go 6. Too big. Happy middle. Alright, so I'm going 5 millimeters for my text option. I can move this little window as well to see where everything lands. I'm also just going to center my alignment because I don't like that it was off center. And now that I've centered it, it's tidied it up a little bit more. So I might be able to drop it up to, or bring it up to 6 millimeters. No, I still don't like that. I'm going to go in the middle, 5.5. All right. And I'm just going to have a look. I'm happy with that. Beautiful. Hit OK. That's the name of the channel, nicely placed in here. And if I'm not quite happy with its alignment, I can drag it around and make it sit a little bit better for me. All right. But once I've done that, I just need to hit Finish Sketch, and you'll see that I have this nice little bit of text on a nameplate, but again, there's no discernible height difference because it's still two-dimensional. So how do we turn a text into a three-dimensional shape? All right, one of the easiest ways to do it is using the Emboss tool. All right, so we can hit Emboss, and it'll ask me to select the profile that I want to emboss. For me, that's the words, all right? And then I'm going to select the face that I want to emboss it on. So that's this face here. Now you'll see that an emboss brings the letters up from the object, and that's nice. And at the moment it's 2 millimeters, which is way too high. If I drop that down to 1 millimeter, that looks a lot tidier, all right? You can always have a bit of a look while it's in the profiling view. You can see what it's going to look like. All right. But again, like you've probably gathered, I don't like sharp edges. I don't like all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to hit the Deboss tool. What that does is it takes that letter and it basically forces it down and cuts out this section of the shape. A, that looks nicer to me. And B, if I'm 3D printing this, that takes away a couple of layers and it's a little bit easier for my printer to handle. All right. Also, if I wanted to, I could make some nice little lettering that I'd stick in there, all right, out of a different color or a different material, and that would look really, really smick. All right. So I prefer the Deboss function, still at 1 millimeter. And I think that just looks a whole lot tidier in my personal opinion. But you guys do what floats your boat. All right. But now I'm happy. I'm hitting the OK button. And that's my name tag done. All right. That's pretty easy. Now, I did mention, I think in the beginning, that we were going to have a look at another way to make three-dimensional shapes. And that is to use the Revolve tool. Now, the Revolve tool is a little bit tricky and a little bit confusing. So this will be the first intro to it, but I'm sure we'll be revisiting this pretty soon in some future projects. All right. So start off with, like anything, I want a two-dimensional shape. So I'm going to create a sketch and I'm going to select the bottom plane. So I'm not drawing on this time. I'm drawing off to the side. So I'm going to draw on this bottom plane. Now you guys don't have to do this step unless you want to learn a little bit about this. But this is just for a bit of an FYI basically, so you guys can see how to use this tool. All right, I'm going to grab a circle and I'm going to place a circle that is 2 millimeters in diameter. So it's small enough to fit through my hole. Pardon me. I'm going to place that 10 millimeters from this green axis. So I'm going across 10 millimeters. It's going to be a 2 millimeter circle and I'm hitting enter and finish sketch. All right, because I'm happy with that and it's done. All right, pretty straightforward. Now this circle is going to end up being a ring that I could put through that hole. All right. So how do I turn a circle into a ring? I use the Revolve tool. Now, again, I can select a profile, which is my circle, and then I want to select an axis to rotate this shape around. And this is going to look a bit funky, but it'll make sense shortly. I'm going to select this blue axis line. All right, you can select other things. I could select parts of the shape or anything like that, but I'm going to select this blue axis line. I click that and you'll notice that it's made a ring. What it does is it rotates this circle around in a big 360-degree arc, and anywhere that circle travels, it generates a three-dimensional object behind it. And you can see as I'm rolling around how that works. All right. So that comes around. Now you can make this less or more than 360 degrees, but for this circumstance, I'm just going to leave it at 360. All right. And hit my enter button. And I've got this beautiful little ring here. Now, that's the end of the Fusion 360 part of this tutorial. I'm sure in the coming weeks, I'll be uploading a video on how to set this file up for 3D printing to print this piece. We're not going to print this one because it's at a different orientation and it'll just make it a mess. And I'll show you guys why. But this is what we'll probably set up a quick tutorial on how to do this and export it and send it off to a 3D printer so you guys can print this out. But until that time, thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit those notifications. We're going to do these videos as often as we can to give you guys more and more exposure to some different CAD and CAM tools. All right, guys, until then, thank you guys so much for watching and catch us later.